So, the beginning of the new school year has begun, which is probably terrifying for everyone, but especially terrifying to people who are going into year 11. I know last year I was scared out of my mind at this point in September. I was just so afraid and I had no idea what to do, and I was like, oh my god, what if I fail my exams? It was not a good time. So, I have made a little list of things I wish I had known before starting year 11, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Testing. I'm using a mic, so hopefully the audio is better, because it was kind of bad last time, but we will see. Tip number 1. It is never too late to start. I know this sounds cheesy, but genuinely, no matter how late you think you've pushed it, it is always going to be best if you just start revising now. Do not follow my example, but I kind of learnt a fair bit of the GCSE math content for the first time the month before taking my exam. Please don't do this, it's not good. Please study for your mocks, please do not leave things till the last minute. But what I'm saying is, if push comes to shove and you have a week before your exam and a huge amount of things to do, please just get started. It is not too late. You can learn so much in that week, and honestly, if you're already in that position, the best thing you can do is just to do it and not worry about how much time you've missed. And honestly, what I would say is, pretty much up until the hour before the exam, it is not too late to start revising. If you haven't started, just start. It's fine. It's fine if you've got a day. It's fine if you have a month. It's fine. Obviously, it's best to start revising now. The earlier you start, the easier it's gonna be, the more solid you will be in your knowledge. I would definitely recommend starting as early as possible. But if you find yourself in this situation where you feel like you've kind of missed the optimal time to start revising, that's fine. It's always the optimal time. Just start now. Honestly, it will be fine. Number 2. The time is gonna pass anyway. You are about to start year 11, or maybe you've already started year 11. In less than a year's time, you are gonna be enjoying your long summer holiday, your exams will be behind you, and results day will be ahead of you. That time is gonna pass anyway. And during that summer holiday, you can either be relaxing and enjoying your summer, or you can be spending the entire time regretting that you didn't study. Because either way, results day is going to roll around, and what happens on that day kind of is on you now. It's going to be painful, it's going to be rough, you're going to have to do work that you don't want to do, you're going to have to memorize poems that you have absolutely no interest in. But the sad reality is, results day, exams, it's all going to roll around, it's going to come. You can't avoid it. So the best thing to do is just make sure you are ready for those days so that when they do come, you are prepared for them. Number 3. Your well-being matters more than your grades. I know this sounds silly because your grades are going to get you into sixth form, and everyone places all of your worth on your grades, but the truth is, there's no point in studying until you burn out. Please do not study until you get burnt out. There is no point. If you burn out from studying in the first month, you're going to be much less productive for months after that. It might even affect your performance for the rest of the year. You can pace yourself, you can make time for yourself. Number 4, your grades aren't actually that important. Lots of people may try and say otherwise, but at the end of the day, your grades are only really for getting you into sixth form. Once you're in sixth form, some universities might want a 5 or a 6 in English and math, but apart from... My dad is vacuuming, I will be right back. As I was saying, universities might want a grade 5 or a grade 6 in English and math, but apart from that, your GCSE grades are only really for getting you into sixth form. So if your sixth form only requires 6s, whilst it is good to aim for a grade 9, there's nothing wrong with aiming for straight 9s, but if you know that that's unrealistic for you, it is fine to have lower expectations. For example, math wasn't my strongest subject, and honestly, I wasn't aiming for a 9, that would just be unrealistic. My goal was a 7, and I got a 7, and I'm really happy about that. Whilst it is always good to aim high, also aim realistic, because there is kind of no point in getting all 9s if that is going to mean that you completely burn out and you have a miserable year, because you don't need all 9s. Aim for something that's realistic, aim for something that's, for example, if you want to get into a sixth form, look at the entry requirements and make sure you are aiming for something that's going to get you into that sixth form. But apart from that, you don't need to aim that high. Don't feel the pressure to have unrealistically high expectations for the end of the year, because honestly, GCSE grades, they're not that important. Number 5. there is always going to be someone better than you. If you're a musician, you are probably very used to going on YouTube and looking at like child prodigies. And the same kind of goes for GCSEs. While there probably is also a 5-year-old who's somewhere out there who's a lot better than you, there are also going to be people around you in your class who are just performing better than you, who get better grades than you, and you're going to think, why can't I be like them? And honestly, because you're not them. And no matter how well you do, there is always going to be someone who is doing better than you. So there's no point in comparing yourself to other people, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be where they are in life. You're not going to get the exact same grades as them. And you have no idea what's going on. You don't know how much they're studying. You don't know if they're getting private tuition. And similarly, for people who are doing much worse than you don't know why that is. So the best way to go about this is to just not to compare yourself to other people. Compare your grades against how you did in the past and how you'd like to do in the future, but apart from that, grades are not for comparison. And lastly, make the most of it. Year 11 is a really, really tough year. It's going to be really stressful. There's going to be lots of work. It's going to be tiring, but that doesn't mean that you can't also enjoy it. This is probably your last year together with some of your friends. It might be your last year at a school that you're at, and even if you don't like your school very much, and if you don't like your classmates or teachers, it's still a year with many opportunities for valuable memories to be made. So whilst you should probably prioritize your studying more than you will have done in previous years, it is also definitely still good to try and have a good time. Okay, that is it for now. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if I should make more of these, and wish me luck for year 12 next year. But yeah, good luck to everyone who's going into year 11 next year, and just good luck to everyone who's going into a new school year in general, because every year has its own challenges and difficulties, and school can be stressful. So, good luck.
Hey, it's free. Oh, what do you need? Hot tea, coffee, lip gloss?